Microplastics are infiltrating the human body, even the brain. A new study suggests that microplastics can infiltrate the base of the brain. The research team confirmed the presence of plastic particles and fibers in the olfactory bulbs of human cadavers. The presence of microplastics in the human olfactory bulb suggests the olfactory pathway as a potential entry route for microplastics into the brain, highlighting the need for further research on their neurotoxic effects and implications for human health, noted the researchers. Microplastics in the human body. Our lives are more intertwined with plastic than we realize. From our morning cup of coffee to the clothes we wear, plastic has stealthily slipped into almost every aspect of our daily lives. Yet there's another side to this story that's far less visible but markedly more invasive: the threat of microplastics. These tiny tormentors have made their way into our bodies. The recent study on human cadavers was led by Luis Fernando Amato Lourenco, a respected microplastics investigator at the Free University of Berlin. The team discovered tiny shards of plastic lodged in human nose tissue, precisely in the olfactory bulb. This discovery poses the scary question: could these particles travel to other parts of the brain? More evidence of our plastic crisis? The trajectory of these microplastic intrusions within our bodies is dictated by factors like their size, shape, and the body's defensive responses. Logic suggests that the smaller the enemy, the easier it is for it to go unnoticed by our body's defense system to breach our brain and spinal cord. The study has confirmed that this is, in fact, the case. For Phoebe Stapleton, a professor of pharmacology and toxicology at Rutgers University, this revelation is but a reflection of our plastic-accumulated reality. "I'm not really surprised," Stapleton told CNN. "I really do think that plastics are going to be in every place in the body that we look. This is just more evidence." Yet not every scientist is buying into the microplastic scare. The skeptics demand concrete evidence and reliable studies. Hazardous chemicals in microplastics. A wave of recent studies is reinforcing one truth: our bodies are playing unwilling hosts to these nearly invisible invaders. From unsuspected areas like our brain, testes, lung tissues to places as sacred as a mother's milk and a child's placenta. These minuscule enemies, smaller than a strand of hair, are everywhere. What really ups the ante of their threat level is the sinister cargo they carry. Hazardous chemicals such as bisphenols, phthalates, flame retardants, and heavy metals. Sherry Sam Mason is the Director of Sustainability at Penn State Behrend in Erie, Pennsylvania. The chemicals can be carried to your liver and your kidney and your brain, and even make their way across the placental boundary and end up in an unborn child, noted Mason, who was not involved in the study. Microplastics and olfactory bulbs. The recent study brought to light microplastics in the olfactory bulbs of more than half of the cadavers studied. However, the experts could not pinpoint the source of exposure or why only some cadavers carried this evidence. Amato Lourenco hypothesizes that a swollen nasal lining might pave the way for these particles. According to him, airborne microplastics could originate from synthetic fabrics and common household items. The most frequently found culprit was polypropylene, a commonly used plastic that is generally considered safe. But a conflicting study presents an alarming connection between polypropylene microplastics and accelerated progression of breast cancer in human bodies, a global concern. Amid this alarming reality, there's a shred of hope. Guidance from the American Academy of Pediatrics suggests that we can minimize our chemical exposure by reducing the use of disposable plastics and switching to reusable alternatives. Microplastics are a global concern as they continue to spread across continents and ecosystems. They are polluting our marine ecosystems, threatening our soil through wastewater sludge, and indirectly affecting us through seafood consumption. The scale of this problem demands a united global response and comprehensive policy making. Significance of the study. The disturbing presence of microplastics bears crucial importance on the need to strategize effective ways to minimize exposure and comprehend the long-term health implications. By harmonizing scientific exploration with practical interventions, we can aim to mitigate microplastic pollution. The discovery of microplastics in the base of the human brain is a wake-up call. Until the scientific community reaches a solid consensus on the impact of this invasion, it's up to us to limit our exposure and take proactive measures. Stay tuned, follow Science Rise On, and like the video for more daily science updates.